What's going on, everybody? I'm Selna, America's face of dating, and today we're going to be talking about, as you can see, 3 things to never do with women. And these come from personal experience, right? These smooth talking, handsome guy that you guys see in front of you right now. I wasn't always this way, and I had to learn things the hard way a lot of the time because when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money to, afford coaching or afford a mentor or afford even therapy. And so I had to go through a lot of this stuff with the hard way with girls to learn what not to do with girls that's going to make them either lose attraction for you or just not like you as a person in general, right? But more importantly, with that lose attraction part, which we're going to be talking about in a second here. But disclaimer is that sometimes, yeah, you might act goofy, and these first list right here, these first 4 right here, these are obvious ones, right? These are very, very obvious. So I want this video to be to a point where it's like I give you guys the actual juice of what you guys need to know of things not to do with women that most guys don't tell you, right? Most guys will just tell you this list right here. And forgive me, apparently there's an emergency. There's some sirens in the background. But yeah, sometimes you'll act goofy, right? But you get back in your masculine frame, right? You might be pillow talking her and be like, oh baby, you're so cute. And then you get back on your straight arrow path as a man. Obviously, not talking about inappropriate thoughts that you have of her, right? One of the worst ways to approach a girl at the gym is talking about how fat her ass is in those yoga pants. It's like, why would you ever do that? And there are people that still do that to this day. I'm like, oh my goodness, dude. Like, I can't understand people sometimes. Obviously, don't tell her that you like her. You pull her behind the playground, right? And at 6th grade recess, and you're just like, I just want to tell you that, like, I like you, okay? Like, I really like you. Don't fucking do that shit. That is 4th grade shit right there. Do not do that, right? Masculine men do not do that. Obviously, don't talk about politics, religion, that sort of thing with her because it doesn't really matter, to be frank. It's because when a girl starts to fall in love with you, she's going to bend to please her man at the end of the day. A man is straight, like an arrow, unbreakable, right? While women, feminine energy is about bonding and connecting and opening up to her man, so she will almost bend to the will of the man. And so even if she has some fucking skewed views about politics and religion, all that, it eventually will change after she starts to fall in love with you. That's the powerful stuff about this stuff, so make sure that you use it for good. But these ones that I'm about to give you guys, the 3 things below, these are things that you can never do with a girl, okay? And why? It's because this chart right here, no, it's not gay pride, okay? I made this way before they randomly popped up out of nowhere. So don't think it's that. This is the interest scale with colors, right? So you have the blue zone right here. Girl's cold for you. She's indifferent towards you. You don't pursue girls that are in the blue zone, right? Because they're not going to reciprocate your effort that you put in. Nor even in the green. The green, she has some interest for you, but she's more on the verge of like, yeah, I could basically just leave it and I'll be totally fine. It's an uphill battle and so I get it, right? Like some guys like a challenge. And they like that uphill battle of building attraction with her and making her want him, right? But it's an uphill battle. Yellow is like, she's so-so. She's like, you know what? She's showing some signs of interest, right? She's like, you know what? I could do it if you don't talk me out of it, type of thing. Orange is like, she's really pursuing you, right? She's really into you. She's flirting with you. She's going hardcore. And red is, she's red hot for you, right? She's falling in love with you. She's really sharing her feelings with you. She's really getting serious about this. And so you might ask me, what is the purple zone down here? Purple zone is the no-no zone, right? That's the zone of girls that you do not date, right? That is the zone of girls that you don't talk to, don't want to be with, right? For example, hot and cold, right? Red and blue equals purple. Hot and cold for you, throwing you extreme mixed signals, right? Maybe they just got out of a relationship. They're going to be super hot for you one day, and then they're going to miss their ex another day, and they're going to get super cold for you, right? Girls that have left a man to be with you, never date them. That's a purple zone. Girls that have drug addictions, right? You guys get the picture here. The no-no zone. Don't date girls that you classify in here. And every girl that you ever talk to, you can put on this chart in some degree, right? You can put on this chart in some way, right? Whether it's the yellow, orange, red, blah, 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 etc. You get it. But why should you never do the things that I'm going to describe below is because no matter where she's at, we'll say she's in the yellow. If you do the things that I talk about below, one of the 3 things, or if all you do is the 3 things, it will push her back in attraction all the way to the blue zone where she just completely has no feelings for you. That's obviously not where you want to be, right? So your goal with this is that wherever she's at on the chart, let's say she's the light green or the yellow, that's where most girls are going to be where they start off with. You want to push them and game them and build and use natural attraction to really push them, I guess, along this curve right here to get to the red zone where they have fallen in love with you and they're crazy about you. And so, as I said, the 3 things below that we're about to get into, it will push her back into the blue zone. So these are things that you should never do with a girl. Let's talk about number 1 here. Number 1, tell other people you like her. Do not do that, right? The thought, I thought this was like a younger generational thing, and it's not. Because I coach a lot of guys that are in their mid-20s or 30s, and some of them are in their even in their 40s, 50s, and even one in their 60s, right, in my program. I thought this was a generation thing of like, oh, this is just something that younger kids do, right? Younger kids will tell your friends that you like this girl. No, yeah, I've seen this in people in their 30s and 40s, and it will just absolutely, it will destroy your chances of getting this girl, and there's multiple reasons for that, right? It shows that you don't know natural attraction, first off, because a man that's in his masculine, he goes for what he wants. It's a feminine thing to go talk to your friends about how much you like this girl and how much you care about this girl. That's a feminine thing to do. A masculine thing is going up and flirting with her right off the bat and showing that, yeah, you know what, you're attracted to her, but you're not going to tell her you like her. You're going to display it through your sub-communications. That's very, very important, right? Like I said, it's a feminine thing talking about your crush to your friends. That's a feminine thing to do. Talking about like, I had a dream about her last night, and it was just, we were in a meadow, and it was just so romantic. I really want her, but she just won't give me a chance. That's a feminine thing to do. People will eventually tell her, right? I learned this the hard way back in the day. I used to tell all my friends, like, I have a crush on this girl and that girl. It always got around to her. There was always a snake in the group that always got around to her that was trying to probably get with her or make fun of you behind your back to get the girl. There's always one snake there probably that's gonna eventually tell her, right? No matter how much you think, it will always get out. Always, I don't know how it does. It's always an accident too, right? They're like, I don't know how it fucking got out. I remember there was a story back in the day. There was this, so like back in the day, like way back in school, like, you know, probably like 7th grade, I believe. Oh, this is so funny. But there was this kid that sat at our lunch table, and he was always like kind of like a dick sometimes, right? But he would like act like he's hard and act like he's tough. But like as soon as you do something like bring up a chick, like he like folds like a fucking piece of paper. And one of like the biggest deals back in the day was like, if you told a girl you liked her, like that shit spread like wildfire, right? It was like super embarrassing if she rejected you. That was like just a class act like embarrassment, right? It's so bad. And I remember we had another kid at our table that would basically like do anything for like anything. And he was just a wild dude. I think he probably had ADHD or something like that. But this one dude, he was just like a dick, right? He was just mean to people for no reason. And so what we would do if he was like being an asshole is that this kid that would do like anything was named Drew. And so I'd be like, Drew, when someone saw like the hottest girl in the school, when she comes around to put her tray up, literally like tell her to come over and be like, hey, this guy has a crush on you. This guy wants to know if you'll be his girlfriend. And it was just so funny, man. It was so funny. So like she comes around and like Drew's like, hey, let's say like her name was like Becca or whatever. He's like, Becca, come here. And Becca's like, what do you want? And he's like, this guy wants to know if you'll be his girlfriend. And he's like, what? Like, no, I didn't fucking say that. And she's like, what the fuck? And she just like walks away. The whole school's now just like harassing him. Like, why? Like, were you asking her out? Like, you were asking her to be your girlfriend? He was like, no, I wasn't doing that. And they're just like, yeah, right. Like, okay, sure, you just made that up or whatever. He's like, it was them, I swear. It was the funniest thing ever. I just remember that the other day and I was like, that is such a funny memory, man. But yeah, I found out this the hard way, you know, like telling all my friends, like, you know, I have a crush on so-and-so. Because I remember, like, the same dude, Drew, I told, like, I had a crush on so-and-so. And literally, like, he was like, yeah, man, I won't tell anyone. Literally, like, that same day, he, like, sees her in the hallway. And he's like, yeah, by the way, he has a crush on you and, like, really wants. I was just like, bro, what? Like, why would you? It was just like, don't tell people that you like her, okay? It just shows that you don't know natural attraction. And, like, what it looks like with natural, this is a graph that I drew up for the guys in my program, is that this is you, obviously, that's the girl. And if you don't know natural attraction, these lines, this blue line, it'll just be straight, right? In this red line, it'll be straight. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. When you know natural attraction, what it's going to look like is that as you're gaming her and talking to her, it's like your effort is almost like going down, right? It's going down in a way. And then her effort as she is becoming more attracted to you, when you use natural attraction that I teach in my program, is just going to rise and go up, eventually reaching the hook point where she is becoming more interested in you than you are becoming interested in her. So she is beginning to chase you, is what that means. And so when a girl is beginning to chase you, it's exactly where you want her to be. Excuse me. It's exactly where you want her to be. And it eventually rises to the point where it's like, and this is obviously when you open her and then you build attraction right here and then you build rapport and you get to the point where it's like she's like really like she's actually really into you, right? She's in the red zone on the color chart, and you're right here, you're chilling, you have sunglasses on, you're basically not doing anything. And if you guys struggle with natural attraction, like, let's get you my program. Like, there's a call link in the description below. That's literally a call link to schedule a call with me personally. Hop on a one-to-one with me. Let's talk, let's chop it up, bring your credit card, let's get you in the program. Let's stop wasting time, right? Like, there's no point in struggling with this stuff. But obviously you see there's tanks here too. There's rapport, there's attraction, right? And if one of these tanks, let's say like attraction, is not filled up and you're like building rapport with the girl, you're going to be viewed as the nice guy beta male. So you're never really going to get anywhere with her. However, if you build only attraction without any rapport, then you're just going to look like an asshole. And that's something you guys say that you love about me, is that I bring you guys the perfect balance of authenticity, but also like Playboy kind of vibe, right? So it's the perfect blend that gets a girl to really build attraction and fall in love with you. And this is obviously interest, and then obviously over time is the graph right here. But let's move on to number 2. Stop talking. Just stop talking so fucking much, man. You're not a woman, right? I think it's on average, I think it's women say 8,000 words per day on average. Men say 2,000, right? 80-20 rule right there to effect. Women say 8,000 words a day versus a man's 2,000. It's because women, they solve their problems by talking, right? They bond through talking about things. Most guys can't stop talking with girls, right? She should be doing 80% of the talking on the date. She should be doing 80% of the talking. And it's because, like I said, women, they will bond with you through talking. So if you keep her talking, for example, she'll try to know things about you, right? And I'll get into that in the third thing. But she'll try to know things about you, and you might give her like a little sliver of something, but then you flip it back on her and you're just like, well, why do you ask that? Like, what about you? I feel like you have more to you than meets the eye. And then she's talking now again, right? You got to keep her talking. It's an art. It's with finesse that you flip it back on her, and then she starts talking, and she's like, oh my God, like, you know, it gets to the end of the date and you take her home and you kiss her goodnight, right? And she goes inside and she's like, I really like this guy, but I know nothing about him. He's a complete mystery to me because she talked the entire time. That's how you want it to be. Do not tell other people's business, right? Stop talking so much. Like, when you're talking, you're telling other people's business, and it's like she's over here thinking like, well, if he's gossiping so much about other people, what happens like when I fuck him for the first time? Like, he's literally going to go to his friends and start gossiping about like me and his sex life. So why would I ever want to be with him, right? I never talk about other people's business just because, number one, it's none of my fucking business to tell. And number 2 is that when you start telling other people's business, they're like, oh, if I tell him something, he's going to go tell that to other people, right? Literally, that's how it works every single time. It's a mirror. Women bond through sharing and talking, as I said. You got to keep her talking. Do not talk about how much money you make. Never do this, right? Never talk about how much money you make, ever. Like, she should find that out on her own. It's so much better to a woman. If you go out with her and she probably like thinks you're poor, and then like on date 2 or 3, like she comes over to your place and she's like, holy fuck, like he has a really, really nice place. Like fucking, you know, window to ceiling, like floor to ceiling windows, like overlooking the city, like a nice fucking hot tub jacuzzi in his place, like, you know, neon lights throughout the place, like light things up, like a nice, like fucking beautiful ceramic tile countertop, like beautiful, like, or not ceramic tile, but like, you know, you get the picture, like really nice, right? Don't talk about how much money you make. A lot of guys will go into the date and be like, yeah, I make so much, like, I make this and this a year, like trying to brag. And she's like, why is he bragging? Like, what is he trying to overcompensate for? Don't sell her on your value, right? It just shows she's higher value. When you're trying to sell her, oh, like, you should date me because I make a lot of money, and like, I got a lot of girls that I'm talking to. You're basically trying to sell her on why you're a good option, which basically means you're placing her above you in your eyes. And women will never date a man who she perceives as lower value than herself, right? She'll never date a man or sleep with a man unless it's for lots and lots of money and she's a gold digger. Never going to happen. And so you don't want to sell her on your value. You want her to to be selling you on why she's a good option for you. That's different, right? Crying and sharing feelings. I remember back in the day I used to do this because I thought Hollywood was like, right, like, oh, when I cry and when I open up to the girl, she's gonna love me more because of it and respect me more. Girls never do. Every single relationship that I've ever been in, and I cried more than twice in front of the girl, it always ended, right? She always ended up leaving me. And it's because girls will lose respect. She says that she wants a man that's vulnerable and shows his feelings and his and cries sometimes. But women don't respect a man that does that. They don't respect a man fully at the end of the day. And eventually they will just leave him because she's like, why is he such a pussy? Why is he crying? Right? Only very rarely will you want to show emotion in a relationship and actually show feeling. Right? That's what makes it so special to a woman. Is because she's like, he never does this. That's why it's so special. Right? Let's say like your parents die. Maybe that's like the only time. Maybe. And that's just a strong maybe that you show emotion. Right? Even if you're breaking up with her, even if you catch her cheating, you're just like, it was nice knowing you. And you walk away. Don't even show emotion then. Right? It shows strength. Like this is Sam. Like that's me obviously with my girlfriend. That's Sam Kovalar from my program. And he's absolutely crushing it with natural attraction. Like he said it was a struggle for him at first, man. He was trying to sell people on his value. Right? Basically is what he was doing. And I was like, dude, like she should be coming to you. And look exactly how that happened. That's him in, I think, New York City on a boat cruise with this chick. Like, he absolutely came into my program and is crushing it. He's a beast. Let's get into number 3, though. The perfect balance of flirting and authentic. Right? That's what you guys tell me I am. The perfect balance of flirting and authentic. Right? That human aspect needs to be in there. Or else you just look like a playboy and a mean guy. And girls still won't like that. Girls will tell you that they want to know your body count. Right? Don't tell her that you're talking to a bunch of girls, right? Again, you're selling her on your value. Don't tell her your body count. Don't tell her you're talking to a bunch of girls. Just say, gentlemen, don't kiss and tell, honey. Sorry. Right? Or say another really good one when girls are like, I want to know your body count. How many girls have you been with? They'll bother you forever about that. And like the thing about this too is like girls have this imaginary number in their head. Everyone has a different number in their head. Let's say your number is 10. 10 is a lot of people. If you found out a girl has fucked 20 dudes, you're going to be like, wow, that's a lot of people, right? In my head, it's like more than one is like, that's way too fucking many. You know what I mean? Like more than 0 is damn near way too fucking many. And it's like, especially for a woman. So if I found out a girl's like slept with 10 guys, I'm just like, ugh, yikes, girl. I would never date that. I would never touch that with a 10-foot pole. You know what I mean? But everyone has this different number in their head. Let's say a girl, like, I don't know, let's say like 8 is a lot to her. And you're just like, and you tell her logically when she's like, how many girls have you been with? And you're just like, I've been with 3 girls, whatever you say. And she's like, oh, so you're a little rookie. Like, oh, it's okay. Like, I'll have to teach you a little bit, right? So she's going to condescend to you. However, if you're like, yeah, I've been with like 20 or 50 girls, she's going to be like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like, you're a player. Like, do you have like, I need you to get STD tested, okay? Like, because that's just like disgusting. No matter what you say, you're fucked. No matter what you say, you're fucked because there's always a number in someone's head that is a lot or a little to somebody. It's always different. That's why it's better off you don't tell because it's always going to be used against you in a way. Right? Just say, gentlemen, don't kiss and tell. Or just say, I'm as pure as a dove, baby. I'm just trying to get my first kiss. Right? She doesn't want to know. She's just trying to see if you logically give in and tell her. Right? And she might be like, be serious. Right? Be serious about this. How many girls? And you're just like, as far as I'm concerned, like, you're a virgin too, right? And she's probably like, no, I'm not a virgin. And you're just like, yeah, like, I know you're a virgin, just like me. So, like, it's all good, baby. You know, like, it's okay. It's all good. And she's like, oh my God, like, that's not what I said. And you're just like, baby, like, you're a virgin. Okay, like, you're a virgin to me. Like, this is our first time together, like, ever. Okay, I get it. Like, that's how I want to see you in my eyes. Okay, that's just what it is. She's like, that's not what I am. You're just like, shh, you're just delusional. You have amnesia. That's how it is. Just play with her, right? Take control. Your reality is your reality. Like, again, don't sell her on your value. Don't be like, oh, I've been with so many fucking chicks. It doesn't fucking matter. Body count is irrelevant. It just does not fucking matter, right? It just shows she's higher value than you. Don't come on too strong or too weak, right? Very, very important with natural attraction. Something I had to teach Weston right here is that he said that he had a problem before he joined Arrows, my program, he had a problem only attracting 5s and 6s. However, once he joined Arrows, things changed because he was coming on way too weak and way too nice. And then a lot of guys will overcompensate that and then try to come on way too strong. And you guys have to know that perfect balance of natural attraction. Most guys come on way too weak and way too nice. That's exactly what Weston was doing, right? It's exactly what Danny was doing at the start too. And what happens is that she just doesn't respect you. It doesn't help her build attraction for you. And it's like, chances are, if you guys are struggling with the same thing, you're probably getting ghosted right now or rejected. This is a chart I made for the guys in my program, right? Or maybe you guys are in the Grievous Circle, a little bit better, where it's like you can potentially get a date like every like 90 days or so, or you can get numbers, but you can't really sustain the numbers and keep that relationship going, right? Or you've had multiple relationships or even marriage in the past, and you're just trying to look like get back into the field, you know, or you just have girls coming to you and you can't really sustain it, right? That's in between the red triangle here and then the green circle. But if you really want to get to the point where like you're in that golden, like you ascend to that golden diamond right here, is that like you can attract girls effortlessly, right? You can actually sustain it. They're coming to you. You're almost hands off in a way, where it's like girls literally are just coming to you and like you just don't have to do anything. They just come to you, right? Like, let's get you in my program. If you guys are still struggling with that and like you're maybe getting lucky every 30 to 60, 90 days, let's get you into my program and make the process way more consistent. Just book a call in the link in the description below. Hop on a call with me. Bring your credit card. Like I said, don't waste your time. I'm not going to waste your time. Don't waste my time. Like really be prepared to make a decision. And like, if you're actually financially able to do this, then let's do this. Like, stop wasting time. Is never going to change this stuff, right? That's something I don't get a lot about. Like, I don't get about guys is that they're just like, oh, time is eventually going to fix this, right? Time is eventually going to change this. Time never changes this stuff. Like, taking action on this stuff and learning it does. And it's like, if you want to get to that point where you can actually get a quality relationship and a quality girlfriend, you have to know the fundamentals about natural masculine versus feminine attraction. If you don't know that, it's always going to be unpredictable, and you're always going to struggle with this stuff. And so even if you guys don't want to book in a call right now, like you have some questions about it, go to my Instagram. Literally message me and say you're directly from YouTube. So I prioritize you guys, since we get 100, 200 probably plus messages per day right now from you guys on Instagram and Facebook and all that. Just go to my Instagram, say you're directly from YouTube. We'll prioritize you above everybody else, and I'll answer your questions. We'll talk one-to-one. We'll get you going in my program. But you guys eventually have to take action on this stuff, whether that's now or in the future. You guys have to learn this stuff. And so when you guys are ready, book in that call and let's get you guys going in my program, because you guys would absolutely fucking crush it, especially if you're watching this video all the way through and you know it's the right decision. So again, you know, booking that call when you guys are ready. Well, let's fucking do it. And make sure to like and subscribe if you guys could. It really helps out me knowing, like, you know, what you guys want to hear more about. And comment down below if questions you guys have and what you guys want to know more about, or just shoot me a message on Instagram at Selna Kim. Make sure it's the right account, right? You'll know if it's the right account versus not. And so, I'm Selna Kim, America's face of dating, and I'll see you guys in the next video.